Hey guys, it's Alex from 7th Hour Films, back again with Doctor Who. Last time on Doctor Who, we had Dark Water. So Danny died, and then Clara was like, hey, we gotta get him back, go back in time, fix it. And the Doctor was like, well, no, we're not doing that, let's go to Hell instead. So the Doctor and Clara went to Hell, met up with Missy, and then it was revealed that technically Heaven is not real, at least this heaven is not real. It's really a nether sphere created by the Time Lords, and the Cybermen were there. Also, Missy is short for Mistress, which is the alternative name for the Master, and Missy is the Master, which is pretty crazy. Yeah, that was pretty much that. It was a really crazy, bonkers episode, but I loved it. And now we are moving on to the finale of Doctor Who Series 8. Isn't that crazy? So, yeah, we should probably go ahead and get right into this episode of Doctor Who. Here we go.
See, I'm not Clara Oswald. Clara Oswald has never existed.
Identify.
I'm the Doctor.
Okay. She is thinking on her feet. Wait, what? Her name was first, and it was her eyes.
Sorry, selfies are never as good, are they? And you're having a lovely moment.
Hey.
Nice bow tie.
Bow ties are cool.
Yes.
Big smiles, and now!
Oh! Holy crap, their whole unit?
Afternoon.
Oh, hell yes.
You've picked up. Welcome to the only planet in the universe where we get to say this. He's on the payroll.
Huh. Yeah.
Well, technically.
How much?
Shush.
Any questions?
Oh my god, they're launching. Oh, bye. They fly now.
They're not
If
human.
it isn't exploding, what's it doing?
Pollinating. Falling like rain into the cracks of the earth.
Oh. The Cybermites, I guess?
You're telling me we're going back? What, back to our bodies?
And the extra good news is there's been a bit of an upgrade.
Oh no.
The dead are coming home, Doctor.
The dead are coming back to life and they're all Cybermen. How does this work? That guy was not a Cyberman when he was put there. Shit. That's Danny.
Hang on a second. The president? We don't want Americans bombing around the place. They'll only start praying.
Not the President of America, sir. The President of Earth.
In the event of full-scale invasion, an Earth president is inducted immediately with complete authority over every nation-state. Well, there was only one practical candidate.
Well, that's your answer for everything, isn't it? Vote for an idiot.
If you say so, Mr. President. As
Yeah.
long as you're on this plane, you're the commander-in-chief of every army on Earth. Every world leader is currently awaiting your instructions. You,
Whoa.
Chief Executive Officer of the human race. Any questions?
Why? That is not his style.
Well, currently pilot Type 40 TARDIS. I've been married 4 times, all deceased. My children and grandchildren are missing, and I assume dead. I have a non-Gallifreyan daughter created via genetic transfer. How much more do you need? I'm the Doctor.
That's pretty good, actually. Damn.
Look, ask anybody who knows me. I am an incredible liar.
Yeah, you are.
Correct.
Whoa.
Order was given. Correct. You are not under cyber control.
No, he's not.
Correct.
Oh, Danny boy. Aww. Why isn't Danny under control?
I saved Gallifrey.
Yes, Gallifrey too, I suppose. There's always collateral damage with you and me. It's
Did he-
our Paris.
Did he end up on Gallifrey? Did
Gallifrey's
she?
lost. You know where it is.
Yep. You know the best part about knowing?
Not telling you.
Oh, you Cold bitch.
Mr. President, sir, we're ready for you up here.
So she must have escaped Gallifrey. Because
Remember
the
all
Master
those
would have
years
ended
ago,
up
all you
there.
wanted to do was to rule the world. On my way.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Piece of cake.
Yeah. They just gave him the world.
Because I thought she might be the Master, regenerated into female form. Your childhood friend responsible for a number of previous incursions.
Yeah.
That was fairly quick.
We do have files on all our ex-prime ministers. Well, she wasn't even the worst. Doctor, there's something nobody's talking about.
Witches.
Yeah.
The cloud
Harold Saxon.
caused by the exploding Cybermen.
A lot of time and space.
Sorry?
Just something for your bucket list.
Oh, you are coming, girl. Oh my gosh. This is spooky, man. I love it. Just a bunch of Cybermen coming out of graves.
But she's been upgrading dying minds to a hard drive for a long time. So
Yeah.
she upgrades the hardware and then she updates the software.
For
What do
many
you mean
years.
a long time? How long?
Well, she must have a TARDIS somewhere, so as long as she likes. The past. The future.
Yeah.
How long, Doctor?
How long has the human race had a concept of an afterlife?
Jesus, she's been doing this for thousands of years. That means she is thousands of years old. That's probably why she regenerated.
Hey, Missy, you're so fine, you blow my mind. Hey, Missy. Hey. Excuse me. I'm going to kill you in a minute.
Oh, okay.
What's that in your pocket?
There's nothing in my pocket.
Oh,
Wait.
my giddy aunt. Quiet ones are the worst.
She's a master of that! She's hypnotized the two of them, hasn't she? Oh. Osgood, no!
Yeah, yummy.
You bitch. Ah! Oh, there's something on the wing! He's still in there. Jesus.
What does it inhibit?
Emotion. It deletes emotions. Please, I don't want to feel like this.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. That's how we always defeated Cybermen. Turn the emotions on, they'll be driven insane and blow up.
They're all over the plane. They're pulling it apart.
Get to the TARDIS!
The girl who's got your number. Whoops.
Yeah.
It's you.
Yeah. Hey.
Ah, hello.
Where did you get this number?
Oh, back in the day. No!
Why did you do that? You didn't have to do that!
What the hell?
Oh, no. Oh, no.
He's calling the TARDIS to him, isn't he? Holy shit, this man is crazy. He's skydiving to it! Yeah, get out of here. This is not where I expected us to go. Yeah! He made it.
I can't see properly, sir, because this needs activating. If you want to know what's coming, you have to switch it on.
Damn it.
And didn't all of those beautiful speeches just disappear in the face of a tactical advantage? Sir.
No, come on.
It feels like I'm killing you.
I'm already dead. You're here this time at least.
Oh.
Goodbye, Danny.
Goodbye, Clara.
Come on.
All humanity will die.
And rise again as Cybermen.
Correct.
How do we stop it?
We cannot be stopped.
Oh, damn it, Mary Poppins.
Happy birthday. It's lucky one of us remembers these things.
It's his birthday?
Happy birthday.
She's trying to make him... Trying to make him like her.
Every battle, every war, every invasion. From now on, you decide the outcome. What's the matter, Mr. President? Don't you trust yourself?
Power.
I am not a hero. I'm definitely not a president. And no, I'm not an officer. You know what I am?
The Doctor.
I am an idiot with a box and a screwdriver. Passing through because love, it's not an emotion. Love is a promise.
Oh!
And he will never hurt her.
Yeah!
I will burn.
One burning
shit.
Cyberman is hardly going to save the planet.
Correct.
But he's got the thing!
Attention!
Now they're his army.
This is not a good day! This is Earth's darkest hour! And look at you miserable lot!
Ugh.
We are the fallen! You will sleep safe tonight.
Oh, shit. Hey!
The current coordinates of Gallifrey. It's returned to its original location. Didn't you ever think to look?
You are lying.
Tuh.
No, don't you dare. I won't let you.
Old friend, is she? If you have ever let this creature live, everything that happened today is on you.
What?
All of it.
God damn it.
You.
No, we're supposed to be better than her.
Live again.
Wait, what? Wait, what? What? Huh? Oh, Kate!
Of course, the Earth's darkest hour and mine. Where else would you be?
What? Really? Oh!
Thank you.
That was the Brigadier?
You need to find his parents.
The kid.
He died a long time ago.
Yeah, he would do that.
And promises to keep.
It really isn't fine.
I found Gallifrey.
You did? Doctor, why are you keeping this to yourself? Yeah, you gonna...
Why don't you like cooking, Doctor?
Never trust a hug. It's just a way to hide your face.
Dude, you used to be Mr. Hugs. Is this it for Clara? I'm a little distracted by the fact that they both lied. And no one saw the TARDIS leave, by the way. Oh! There's an after-credit scene, I just remembered! Yeah, okay, there it is.
You know it can't end like that.
Huh.
There you are. I knew I'd get around to you eventually. Now, stop gawping and tell me. What do you want for Christmas?
I'm gonna head out. guys, Merry Christmas. I mean, I obviously knew the Christmas special was next. But, I didn't expect, I just didn't, well, why would I, I mean, it's not like he's been, in, I mean, after such a dark episode, to get a... Yeah. 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 Just gonna put that there. So is that the end of Clara? Is that the end of Clara? I could see that as the end of Clara. Perhaps it's time. Of course, with, the two of them lying. The two of them lying to each other, and, I think even, mentions that. So... maybe? I don't know, but that was a pretty definitive end. Here's the problem. I have thought that before, that we have had a definitive end to a character, and then they stay on for, like, another half season. So, I don't know anymore. But that would have been a pretty good time. But, I mean, she doesn't have, she doesn't have Danny Boy. This episode is very dark. And it makes sense. It makes sense, honestly. But, that ending, doesn't fit with the episode we had. Okay. Now, to their credit, this has happened before, technically, when Donna showed up on the TARDIS, and then the Titanic showed up on the TARDIS, and, So, I mean, there's precedent for it, I guess, but, yeah. Notes. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about this episode. Really good episode. I really enjoyed it. Great finale. Little bonkers. A little more bonkers Doctor Who, which is pretty nice. And yeah, honestly, like, the Master's plan was actually pretty cool, It was also interesting, too, with, just the things like, oh, how did the Master escape, Gallifrey and being sucked back in and stuff, is like, well, you can deduce that from the Master's point of view, he fought Rassilon, then they were both taken back into the Time War. They were both sent back into the Time War, and then, 5 seconds later, the Doctor saves Gallifrey, puts it in another dimension, and then the Master escapes. The Master escapes, hatches this plan, regenerates, and then here we are. So, actually, yeah, all in all, it actually kind of makes sense for the Master to be back, when you really get right down to it, it's like, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense, So, anyway, popping right into the notes, the first thing I wrote down is Dr. Clara. That was pretty clever of her to basically go undercover, to go, try to convince them that she was the Doctor. I thought that was pretty cool. So yeah, that was really interesting, and confusing them for a while, and talking about oh, well, the only thing is, I think the reason they didn't believe her necessarily was only just because, she was human, If she was the Doctor and had all memory of the Doctor, then, then she would have Time Lord physiology. So yeah, it's so that's pretty interesting. But yeah, I did like her doing that, and man, she got some good info. She got a lot of good facts about the Doctor to try to convince them. Which I kind of want to listen to that again. She did mention Jenny, which is pretty crazy. How does she know some of this stuff? Is it because she was in the Doctor's time stream that allowed her to do that? But I don't know. So yeah, let's see. Here it is.
Pilot Type 40 TARDIS.
Yeah.
Deceased.
Okay. So that was interesting. She says, I have been married 4 times, all deceased. Technically, yeah. We would have the Doctor's first wife on Gallifrey. What is her name? Not Mary. Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth I. She would be dead at this point. River Song. What's number 4? What was number 4? Oh, would it be Marilyn Monroe? Is that number 4? Is Marilyn Monroe? That's kind of funny. All right. She also says, my children and grandchildren are missing and I presume dead. Well, that's fucking dreary. Jesus. Now, here's the thing is, the last thing I watched on classic Doctor Who was the departure of Susan, who stayed behind with David after the Dalek invasion of Earth. So, I mean, I don't know. Did he ever go back to that time? Once he actually got control of the TARDIS, did he ever actually go back there, and did he ever meet Susan again? Did Susan ever leave maybe? I don't know. But yeah, all my children and grandchildren are missing and I presume dead. Jesus, that sucks, man. It's the closest thing we've had to acknowledging, other than Susan, him talking about, he never even talks about his kids. He's only ever mentioned Susan, really. Because I remember in the Rings of Akatan, he did mention going there with his granddaughter. So, but yeah. It also hey, he has multiple children, as well as grandchildren, which is pretty interesting.
My children and grandchildren are missing, and I assume dead. I have a non-Gallifreyan daughter created via genetic transfer.
Yeah. I have a non-Gallifreyan daughter created by a genetic transfer. That's Jenny. How does she know this? Is it because of her going in the time stream at the end of season 7? I don't know.
How much more do you need? I'm the doctor.
This information is not proof.
So, yeah, I mean, that was pretty cool, her going through all of that. And that is pretty good, It's pretty good that she actually knows all this stuff. How exactly she knows all of this, I'm not entirely sure, but hey, it was still cool. We had Unit in this episode, which was pretty nice. That was pretty cool, just getting them all there. I do kind of wish we had the Valiant, but they said, oh, well, the Valiant is, too much of a target. We need you, we can't have you discovered, But it's nice that they mentioned it, because we haven't seen the Valiant since... Series 4, so that's pretty cool. There were a nice number of callbacks. I mean, more than just, Clara going over everything about the Doctor. I wrote down Rebirth and Pollen, so this was pretty cool. I guess we have had, like, the Cybermen are getting better and better, Like how... the last time we saw them in Nightmare and Silver, they were getting better and better, and they were able to, assimilate non-humans, So that's pretty cool. Now we have this. They're now, assimilating the dead, which is pretty crazy. And then, I love all the imagery of just, like, Cybermen coming out of graves, Because that's also the craziest thing is that, just this, like, pollen, this cyber pollen, creates a fully formed Cyberman that comes out, Like, that is just insanity, man. So, I love that. I just love all the Cyberman imagery in this. So hey, Cybermen got a great episode, actually. We've kind of been saying the Cybermen haven't really had anything since, like, Series 2, basically. Like, they haven't had anything that great, but honestly, this was pretty good. I liked it. And it's also interesting, too, you could argue it's like, okay, well, why are they serving the Masters? Like, well, she created them, She created them. So I do like that. And just that the Master would be like, I'll just make them Cybermen. Screw it. I wrote down President. That was pretty cool. That the Lord President of... kind of, like the Lord President of Gallifrey. They all, So basically, the world elected the President of Earth. So let me listen to that again, their explanation on that.
It's Captain Scarlet.
Sorry?
Thunderbirds.
God, so it was.
My confidence is growing every minute.
The President is on board.
I just love, the Doctor does not, he doesn't like soldiers, he mildly tolerates Unit, And I think that's just because he's worked with them before, and, he obviously still trusts the Brigadier. So yeah, like, that was pretty cool. But yeah, it's like, the guy comes up and salutes, and he's like, don't do that, just stop. It's not his vehement hatred of soldiers that he is, he's grown, but I think he is sort of relaxing, and obviously because it's Unit, he trusts them a bit more. He barely tolerates them because he needs their help, basically. So yeah.
Mind you, me and Sylvia Anderson, you've never seen a foxtrot like it. Hang on a second. The President, I don't want Americans bombing around the place. You only start praying.
They'll only start praying.
America, sir, the President of Earth.
There isn't one.
There is now.
The incursion protocols have been agreed internationally. In the event of full-scale invasion, an Earth President is inducted immediately with complete authority over every nation-state.
That is fucking nuts.
There's only one practical candidate.
Well, that's your answer for everything, isn't it? Vote for an idiot.
If you say so, Mr. President. So long as you're on this plane, you're the commander-in-chief of every army on Earth.
Jesus. That is pretty crazy. Every world leader is currently awaiting your instructions. So that means every world leader knows about the Doctor. Which is crazy because, we've always had, the British government has always kind of known about the Doctor, mainly because he just keeps showing up and doing shit in Britain. But, when we went back to, Richard Nixon, he had no idea who the Doctor was. So now it's I guess every single nation now knows about the Doctor because the world, well, not the nation, but the world leaders, because they all just elected him as president of Earth.
Every world leader is currently awaiting your instructions. You are the chief executive officer of the human race. Any questions? Your captain's
That is so crazy that they did that. It's also interesting, it's the president of Earth. Not a human, though. Granted, yeah, we go into a whole thing, it's his planet too, and, you can go into all of that, but it's friggin' they elected an alien as president of Earth. Again, they are right, there is no candidate that's better, but still. So, you know what? It's progressive, I guess. Wrote down Gallifrey. So, yeah, we do have... honestly, it's a very simple explanation of how the Master is back. The Master returned to Gallifrey during the Time War, right at the end. The Doctor saved Gallifrey at the end of the Time War. And then the Master simply got out of that dimension and back here. So, yeah, that's basically that. It's honestly a very simple explanation, once you put it all together. Now, that's the thing is, if this was before they saved Gallifrey, before the 50th anniversary and stuff, then there would have to be a much a more complicated explanation, But no, not now. You just connect all the dots. There you go. They put 4 dots in front of you, and you just have to draw the square, basically. It's very simple. Oh, man. Danny, that's my next note. Poor fucking Danny. So, we are not saving him. He's out. He is gone. He is gone, and he became a Cyberman. And, okay, so, it wasn't... Okay, I'm confused. Was it Missy's design or not for him to not have his inhibitor on? I feel like it was the idea that... Okay, I think Missy intended for him not to have his inhibitor on in order, basically, it would mess with the Doctor. It would, it would be this horrible choice because he would have to turn it on, basically killing Danny in order to get the plan. I think that part was Missy's plan. What she didn't account for was that Danny would be able to overwrite, basically, the inhibitor, not, give in to the orders. Which, yes, okay, it's sort of a power of love thing, but I can go with it. It is that, but at the same time, I can go with it. And we'll re-listen to the explanation of it. But yeah, so yeah, I said yeah, and then so yeah, and then I said it again. Great. Okay, I wrote down Osgood and Kate. Okay, well, Kate survived at least, thank God. Osgood's just dead. No, I liked Osgood. Oh man, cute little science girl in Unit. Man, this sucks. She was there in the 50th. She's here now, dead. Ugh. Well, and at first I thought it's okay, well, how is the Master, going to escape? And it's well, she could hypnotize the soldiers into freeing her, because the Master does that. The Master is literally a master of hypnosis. But she didn't even do that. Those guards sucked, because at no point did they try to do something, Man, oh man, that sucks. So Osgood's dead. Man, and he was about to take that girl across the stars, man. Ugh. But Kate did survive, luckily. So, I did write down skydiving. That was awesome. That was so awesome. The Doctor skydiving into the TARDIS and then getting the TARDIS up in the air. That was so cool. I like that. And it was also interesting. It's like, yeah, I guess it makes sense that if a Time Lord just hit the ground like that, there's no regenerating from that, Like, there's not enough... Like, there wouldn't be a body left to regenerate, I guess that makes sense. So there you go. That's one way to kill a Time Lord is by just dropping them off a plane. But, yeah. But you have to make sure not to, drop them with their TARDIS, basically. Well, and that's the other thing is, as soon as there was turbulence, I would check and see if the Master has escaped, and as soon as you see that the Master has escaped, everyone into the TARDIS, we are getting out of here, Like, that's the thing, is that was very infuriating. Or hell, when it's like, okay, when you look out the window and you see Cybermen, everyone into the TARDIS now, Come on! So, that was a little infuriating, that none of them thought to go into the TARDIS. Oy. I didn't write this down, but we did also get confirmation that Missy was the one that brought Clara and the Doctor together, which it was kind of cool seeing that clip from the Bells of St. John. That was pretty cool. So yeah, that was really nice with seeing Matt Smith, and it's like, oh yeah, she got a number from a woman in a shop. Missy was the woman in the shop, so that was pretty cool. And also the advertisement to make sure that the two of them stayed together, which is pretty cool. Also, again, something I didn't write down, but something we should talk about. How old is Missy at this point? Like, and I don't know if we can ever figure out the Master's age in general, but how long has Missy been around? It kind of makes me wonder, because, he even says, they ask, okay, well, how long has she been doing this? And the Doctor says, how long has humanity had an idea of an afterlife? That's how long. It's like, well, jeez Louise, that is insanity, man. That is insanity that could actually, be that long, She's been doing this for thousands of years, I guess she's been doing this for thousands of years, and she's just being patient, She's been patient all that time. So yeah, it almost makes me wonder, if in that sort of story, maybe, she started as the previous Master, as, John Sim, and then eventually, maybe he just grew old, and then regenerated of old age into Missy, Because, why else would he have regenerated, his body was pretty crazy at that point, so maybe it would have been good to just get a fresh start, Missy obviously doesn't have any of the powers he had in the End of Time, so, man, that is crazy. That is really crazy. It's kind of weird, honestly, to think about. It's like, oh yeah, the John Sim crazy ass Master, and it's like, and then Missy. It's like, yeah, it's just kind of weird. But we haven't dealt with too many regenerations. We have the classic Master, who had the crispy Master, who then became healed by the 5 Doctors, and then we had, okay, well, he ran out of regenerations and took over the one body in the movie. Then something else happened. He turned into Derek Jacobi during the Time War, and then he regenerated into John Sim. But then it's like the slight disconnect that we don't see. It's the slight disconnect that we don't see the regeneration between John Sim to, what's her name? Hold up. Michelle Gomez. Yes, Michelle Gomez. So, yeah, I don't know, it's like there's a bit of a, I don't know, there's a bit of, a disconnect there, so. Oh, yeah, speaking of, because I'm looking at the cast list, so Jenna Coleman is listed first. That was just stupid, that in the intro, because the whole, the stinger is, I'm the doctor, and it's just, it's her bluffing, and then they just go all the way with putting her name first in the credits, and then, it's her eyes in the opening credits. Like, alright, guys, that's just silly. So, anyway, Officer, that was intense. That was pretty intense with, talking about, it's like, oh, that's who he is. He's an officer. It's like, Danny, shut the fuck up. Like, you're still shitting on him. Like, I don't know. Maybe I gotta hear that again.
Help me.
If you do what you're trying to do, if you succeed, he will snap you. Then he will step over your broken body and break another and another and another. He will never stop.
I mean, that's the thing, is that,
I had a friend once. We ran together when I was little. And I thought we were the same. When we grew up, we were.
it's basically, because he does switch,
Tear the world apart. And I can't run fast enough to hold it together. The difference is this.
the emotion. Because he goes on this whole speech of, I guess it's because Danny knows, he goes on this whole speech about, keep your pain, keep your emotions, you need that. And he's saying, like, hey, no, we're not going to do this. But Danny knows that if he's going to get the information, he needs to switch it on. And he does need that information, so unfortunately he does have to switch, It goes from being, we will not kill you at any cost, to it's a necessary sacrifice, basically. So, and that's the thing, is that, honestly, it's like, I don't even know if, maybe Danny's not even, like, trying to, like, talk bad at him. It's more just, he understands. He understands that the doctor needs to do this, because he understands how a general works, how an officer works. It could be either way, honestly. So, man, it's so hard to watch, though. We got confirmation that today's the doctor's birthday. How the hell she knows that with how much he's gone through time, I really don't know. But apparently it's his birthday. So, add another year onto there. But yeah, I wrote down power. So the whole thing, it makes sense, throughout this whole thing that that the reason the Master is doing this is to convince the Doctor that he is exactly like her. And that makes sense, That makes sense. And with all of that, and, she's tempting him. She is legitimately tempting him with, like, hey, you can end every war, every conflict. You have an army. Here. Go. That's, it's basically, it's kind of, being like, hey, think of all the good you can do. But she knows that if he does accept this, then he accepts that he's a horrible person and that he's exactly like her. Even if he can do good with this army, it would still, destroy the Doctor's soul, basically. Which, that's a pretty good plan, honestly. That's a pretty good plan. And then let's hear about the promise again. And I do like him being like, no, I'm not a good man. I'm an idiot with a box and a screwdriver.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and him being like, oh, thank you. It's like he finally...
Say sometimes, thank you.
Yeah, he finally...
I am not a good man.
He's kind of back to where he was.
I'm not a bad man.
It's basically like he sort of lost his way for a little while, especially after 900 years on Trenzalore. It's like now, I honestly wonder if this will create a change in the Doctor, you know? But yeah, like now it's like, oh, well, he remembers who he is. He's not a good man, but he's not a bad man. He's an idiot, you know? He's not... okay. How else did he put it? Not a hero. Not a president. Not an officer.
An officer. You know what I am?
He's a doctor.
I am an idiot with a box and a screwdriver. Passing through, helping out.
Yeah.
I don't need an army. I never have, because I've got them.
Yeah.
Always them. Because love, it's not an emotion. Love is a promise. And he will never hurt her.
Yeah, he finally understands it. Ugh.
Did you? While you were doing all your silly orders, while you were showing off, the one soldier not obeying.
Yeah.
What's wrong? That's impossible. Rain will not fall.
Oh? Why won't it?
The clouds will burn.
And who'll burn them?
I will burn them.
How?
I will burn.
One burning Cyberman is hardly going to save the planet.
Correct.
But he had control of them all. Man. And you know, you kind of think like, okay, well, how come none of the other Cybermen were like him? But that's the thing you kind of understand is that he is, you know, he was specifically different because Missy turned off the inhibitor, you know, didn't turn on the inhibitor for him, you know? By her own design, he is allowed this freedom, basically. Now, that does raise the question of the next thing, the Brigadier. Brigadier, oh man, that is bittersweet, man, that one of those Cybermen was the Brigadier. And he was able to save Kate. He was able to save Kate. And then, you know, at the end, he didn't burn at the end. And then, you know, he saluted. The Doctor saluted, you know. The Doctor finally gave him a salute. That was a pretty powerful moment there with the Brigadier. You do question, well, why... You know, we understand why Danny was able to break free. Because he had the inhibitor off. He had the inhibitor off to begin with. And it's by that design, basically, that allows him to overcome his Cyberman programming, basically. But why did the Brigadier? That would be my question, because, you know, and again, the Brigadier has great love for his daughter. I get that. That's great. But I don't know. Maybe it's just a technical thing, and maybe I'm nitpicking, honestly. It's not bad. It's just, when you look at the logic, you know, you get a nitpick, you know? Alright, so yeah, we have the sacrifice of Danny. Danny is dead, for real this time, too. Danny is dead, and that is it. The Doctor has figured out who he is again, and Danny has sacrificed himself for the one he loves. Oh, man, oh, man. And then, at the end, we did get the kid. He brought the kid back to life. His regret fixed, honestly. He was able to save the kid. And, you know, they says, like, you know, that was years ago that the kid died, you know? So Clara has to get the kid back, but that made sense. You know, with everything about Danny, it makes sense you know, like in, I know you all hate it, but in The Forest of the Night, when, you know, when Clara says, you know, Danny Pink will never leave those kids, you know? Honestly, yeah. Danny would not, if there was a possibility to bring one person back, that is the exact person Danny Pink would bring back, you know? So, that was crazy. And then at the end, we did get, the Doctor and Clara lying to each other, man. He said he found Gallifrey and he was going home. I think it was more that he was going to, you know, take some time off again. You know, he does that occasionally. He'll take some time off, you know, from traveling. So I think that was going to be what he was going to do. And Clara didn't mention that Danny remained dead. That is the only thing that makes me wonder if Clara's going to come back next season. So, and especially at the ending, when jolly old Saint Nick pops through the fucking door and is like, oh, you can't leave it like that. So, yeah. And then, of course, just the twist that, oh, Santa's here. And it's like, oh, fuck. Santa's here. Which, I mean, that shouldn't be an, fuck kind of moment. But, I mean, like, you know, it's weird. So Santa Claus is here, and that's going to be the Christmas special, which we will be covering next week. But that's pretty much it. Honestly, that was a really, really good finale. I really enjoyed it, and I like a very dark, love the imagery in it, and yeah, it was just really, really good. And I'll be curious to see where we're going next, obviously with fucking Santa Claus, but also with and I have 15% power, so it's a good thing we're wrapping up. Is Clara going to be coming back with the Doctor? And are we now going to have a bit of a change in the Doctor? Is he going to become a bit more like his previous lives, you know? Maybe he won't be quite so cold and grumpy anymore, but who knows? I guess you guys know, but I don't know, and we'll find out next time. So yeah, with all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Doctor Who reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.